What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to go over the top things I learned in my first full year of being an online course creator. Now, in our first year, we did about $220,000 in sales. So if you are someone who is not quite making that 5 to 6 figure income you know you can make from your online courses, or if you're someone who's wondering if you should do it or not, this video is for you. Now, make sure to stick around to the end because the final thing I touch on is something that I never would have thought would be as valuable as it has been and as profitable as it has been. Or, little secret, there are timestamps down below in the description so you can just skip right to it. But there's a ton of value before that too, so I hope you stick around and consume all of it because I think it's really going to help you out. So this is not a scripted video. I do have my list right here on my computer that I will be referencing, but other than that, I'm just going to talk to you like I would talk to someone if they asked me what I learned. So the first thing that I learned is that online courses don't have to be sleazy. They don't have to be used car salesy or scammy. A lot of times that's a stigma people have in their minds. I know I personally said I would never start an online course because all the courses I saw looked so sleazy. But we've been able to market our course in our own way, and you can totally market it in your own way. You will deal with trolls because it's just the internet, but it doesn't have to be that way. So don't let that stigma hold you back, or don't get stuck in that kind of thinking of you have to market that way. You don't need Lamborghinis or supercars. You don't need a penthouse or to be on a beach. You don't need girls in the background.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
Okay, you don't need any of that stuff. You can do it your own way. The second thing is that online courses can be created by anybody and can be teaching anything. A lot of times I think what holds people back is that imposter syndrome, or that thing of them thinking, I don't know enough, I'm not an expert, I'm not an industry leader, whatever it is. Listen, you don't have to be the God tier end all be all of whatever you are teaching. It's as simple as this. If you know more than the people you're marketing to, they will buy your course. Take me, for example. In my courses, I sell marketing. Okay, I teach people how to market. Now, I am not the God tier end all be all marketer. I have bought courses from other people who are at a higher level than me, and I've learned from them. But I can also very successfully sell my courses to people who are at a lower level than me, and they can learn from me. So don't let that hold you back. Now, another thing is that online courses, these are a ton of work, guys. Don't think that this is a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not. You will have to spend a lot of time creating your course, marketing your course, creating funnels. There's so many aspects to it. It's like an onion, and there's just so many layers of the onion. And chances are, unless you have a lot of capital and a big team behind you, you will be peeling that whole onion yourself, and you will be handling all of those layers. But don't let that hold you back. It's a lot of fun. Just go into it thinking that it is a marathon and not a sprint. If you have that sprint mindset, you're going to be discouraged if it takes longer than you expected to start seeing results. If you have that marathon mindset, you go into it knowing that you need to build and you need to train, and it's going to take time before you cross the finish line. You're going to be much better off. So the next thing is just do it, okay? Just do it. Don't wait till you're ready because you'll never feel ready. Don't wait until people tell you you're ready, or everyone you know supports you, because people may have doubts, and that's okay. Just go ahead and do it. There's that saying that the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago and the second best time is now. Well, right now in 10 years will be 10 years ago in 10 years, if that makes sense. So if you're wondering, should I do it? Just do it right now. That way, 5-10 years from now, you won't look back and regret it. At least give it a try, give it a go. Don't let imposter syndrome get in the way. Just do it, seriously. Even if you have to pause this video right now and go do it, just do it.
Just do it!
So the next thing I want to talk about is it's okay to launch an unfinished product. One of the mistakes we made when we launched our course is we spent like 9 months, no joke, 9 months putting together all the content, when what we probably should have done is only spent like 1 or 2 months and then gone live when we had 10 to 20% of the content and build while we were making sales. Because if our course had flopped, we would have literally wasted 9 months of work. So definitely what I would recommend now is to create like 10-20% of your course, launch it, get people in at a lower price, and then you can start making money, or at least breaking even while you build out the rest of your course, and you know that it's going to be a course that you can sell before you sink too much time and money and capital into it. Another thing I want to recommend is get people in initially and then ask for feedback and implement that feedback. Do not be afraid of criticism. Do not be afraid to ask for criticism, because constructive criticism is just that. It's constructive. If you use that feedback and that criticism to make your course better, you will ultimately make more money because it will be a better course. So the next thing I want to talk about is that there's no one way to do this. A lot of people tell you you need a webinar funnel, or you need a free download funnel, or a course sneak peek funnel. There's so many different funnels that you can use, but there's no one way. What works for someone else's course might not work for your course. For example, our own course, we tried the whole webinar thing. It didn't work for us, and that's totally fine. What has worked for us is direct sales ads and then doing a free 2-lesson sneak peek. That's what's worked for us. That doesn't work for other people. Different funnels work for different people. And that brings me to the next step, which is test everything. Seriously, test everything. Test different funnels. Test different lead magnets. Test different email automations. Test different ads and platforms, different creatives, different copies, different headlines. Test everything. And most importantly, what a lot of people overlook, test different prices. So we initially launched our course for $1,000. It was $9.99. But what we found was that when we lowered our course down to $499.50, so half that price, we actually made a lot more money, as interesting as that is. We were selling courses for half the cost, but we were making so many more sales that it was making us a lot more money. So test different price points. I worked with a lot of other course creators, and pretty much 100% of the time, we find that when we go to a lower price point, it's actually more profitable. So test everything, including that price point. Next thing I want to touch on is that your platform really doesn't matter. And this kind of goes back to there's no one way to do it. Everyone has their favorite platform. People like ClickFunnels, people like DropFunnels, people like Wix, Kajabi, Teachable, Thinkific, all these different things that like to build their sales pages and run their courses on. Figure out what softwares that you like and what you are most comfortable in and what you feel your audience will best respond to, and use those. At the end of the day, what's most important is that you are comfortable with the software you're building on and the softwares you're using, so you can make those constant changes and refinements that you need to make, and it's not a headache every time. So don't feel like you have to use one certain software. If I did have to recommend a software, I'd probably recommend Kajabi because it is an all-in-one solution. I'll have a link for Kajabi down below and you can try their 14-day trial. Not an affiliate or anything, it's just a great software. And we're actually switching to that from Teachable ourselves. So the next thing is that you don't need fancy, high-quality videos or edits to make your course successful. Well, it is good and recommended to have high-quality video content, engaging edits, etc. In my own experience, when we launched our course, my initial videos were all just screen recordings. At the time, I was recording in my apartment. I had about a $25 mic that I bought off Amazon. The audio was pretty bad. The quality of the videos was pretty bad. I need to redo all of it, but here's the thing. Well, the quality of the audio and video was pretty subpar. The quality of the content was really high, and people have been able to consume that content and apply that content and get great results. And as a result, we've had no complaints, and the course has sold very well regardless. But I am going to redo it all now that we're at a point where it makes sense. But don't feel like you have to launch with this super professional setup and the super professional video quality. Work with what you can and get things out there. If what you're teaching has quality, that's what's most important. The next thing I want to speak on is always be improving. So once you get to the point where you figure out what does work and you are making money, even if you're happy with that money and you're happy with the results, always be looking for ways to improve. If you look at some of the biggest course creators out there that are making 6 and 7 figures a month, they're literally always trying new funnels, always trying new ads, always trying new platforms, because you can always improve. So don't get complacent. I know it can be easy. We had a point in our course where I felt like I was personally starting to kind of get complacent, and eventually sales will drop. You need to always be working on it, and don't get complacent. Always be testing new things, because everything changes and you want to be ahead of the curve there. So another thing I want to mention here is spy on your competition. Yeah, go for it and do it. You're going to have competitors. Spy on them. You can use tools like the Facebook ad library to see exactly what Facebook ads they're running. This is a great way to see what they're doing, what's working, great way to see what kind of funnels they're setting up, etc. And go through their funnel. Put your email in or put a fake email in. Go through their funnel. See what website automations they're using, what email flows they're using, what kind of discounts they're doing. Especially if they have a successful course, there's nothing wrong with going through their funnel and reverse engineering it and seeing how you can use aspects of it. Now, don't copy the exact funnel, because you are your own unique person. You are selling your own unique course. but chances are you can take parts of that funnel, apply it to your own course, and see some success there. So definitely try to do that as well. Another thing here is build an organic following sooner rather than later. This is something that we did not do, and I really, really regret it. So we don't really have, at this time recording this video, a big YouTube following, big Instagram following, big Facebook following, etc. And that was mainly because, first of all, it's a lot of work, right? And I was like, oh, I'm savvy with ads. I can get us the kind of sales we want with ads. And while that's been true, our ads have done very well. I've recently started working with some other course creators who have large YouTube and social media followings. And man, the sales they are getting from that organic following is insane. And obviously you don't have to have ad spend. It's a time investment rather than a monetary investment. So definitely do that. Another really solid tip is there are other organic ways to sell your course and find your target audience as opposed to social and YouTube. And the best way that we found is Facebook groups. So let's say you are selling a course that is teaching people how to make their grass greener over the summer. Go ahead and find groups on Facebook where your target audience hangs out. There are groups for everything on Facebook. There's Reddit threads, there's Discords, there's all kinds of stuff. Go in there and start posting value. Don't go and start selling your course, but post value. For our course, we found where our people were hanging out and we started inviting them to free workshops, doing live Zooms, Clubhouse events. We still do that. And that's how we actually initially got our course off the ground. And one thing that we did that I actually think was really smart is we got our first 40 people in, our first 40 paid members. We kept all that money in the bank, and then we used that money to fund our initial advertising. So we got our first 40 members, all organic from Facebook groups. And then we used about that $30,000 to go ahead and fund our Facebook and YouTube ads. That gave us a lot of runway. It gave us a much more comfortable position. So that's something I would definitely recommend. The final thing I want to touch on, and this is something that I never would have realized would be as important as it was, community is everything. You need to build a community around your course, have a private Facebook community, which is not an uncommon thing, but focus on that community as much, if not more, as selling courses. I know it sounds crazy. Everyone puts all their eggs into one basket and they put all their effort into their sales funnels and their marketing, and while that stuff is super critical, make sure that you do not neglect your community. We have built an extremely strong community for our course, a real sense of community and camaraderie, and what that has done for our course has sold us more courses than probably anything else. So focus on your community. One tip I have is have someone that can focus on your back end stuff like your ads and your funnels so you can focus on your community. Myself, it's easy for us because I have a business partner on my course and he really drives our community and I really drive the back end and the advertisements. So these are some of the top things I've learned, and I've learned hundreds of lessons. I wish I could talk about them all. I will create some more videos going over exactly what we've done to market our course, what we've done to convert more sales, etc. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely keep an eye out for those. But I also want to mention two really good resources if you are someone who is looking to start a course or struggling selling your course, and those are two courses. One is called 30-Day Course Creator, the other is called Course Creator Pro. Both of those are fantastic courses. I'm not an affiliate, there's both courses I'm in that have really helped me grow as well as a course creator. So I hope this was helpful, and if it was, do consider giving the video a quick like, and I hope I'll see you in the next video.